Hi, hello. We just recently got caught up on the One Punch Man webcomic, but fortunately for all you One Punch Man fans out there, that means it's just time to get on to the remake. There is one, two, three, four, five new chapters. So for the next 5 days, please enjoy these reaction videos. We're starting with chapter 123. This one is called Real Form. I don't know what that could apply to, given that several of the monsters they're fighting against do have transformations up their sleeve. On the cover, the protagonist is here! Saitama himself posing on the cover. How nostalgic. A reminder of a simpler time when the series was just a bald man wandering about aimlessly and destroying things with his fists. Now it is so much more, and yet it isn't really. More than ever, perhaps, it is the story of a bald man wandering about, destroying things with his fists. So, let's go! Thanks, as always, to the translation team. Rada wasn't satisfied with the chapter and how 122, 123, 124 transition into each other, so he did some redraws to the last page of 122 and most of 123. And now follows the webcomic much more closely. Okay. So I believe we're reading the latest version. Yeah, this is the revised version. It would be interesting to go back and see the unrevised version. This is another benefit of piracy, among the many other ones. When we buy it in the official Tankobon, it's only going to have the revised version. When we look for it on official sites like Vizus Scanlations on their site, it's only going to be the revised version. But here on MangaDex, we get the liberty of looking at how they changed from chapter to revised chapter. It's a great insight into how Murata and One work, I think. Seeing what areas he's dissatisfied with, seeing where the improvements were made. Sometimes even preferring the original version. That's an option as well, too. But anyways, we're going to start with the revised version, given that that's like kind of the canonical official version now, and the one that the chapters following this is going to build off of. Okay, so, oh snap! The S-Class rank 10 hero, Pig God, is suffering an unimaginable defeat. Out-eaten by the mysterious monster only known as Gums. That's not good. That's extremely not good. He might have to use that. We can see he wears New Balance sneakers. I have some thoughts on that brand, but they're neither here nor there. Yeah, a real horrific image to start off this chapter, and I feel like we're just beginning this buffet of buffeted S-Class heroes. That's what you get for looking down on me, old man. Atomic Samurai, humiliated by Black Sperm. We can see the main body here made up of trillions of sperms, while individual ones, themselves monstrously strong, dance and play around Atomic Samurai's lifeless body. They're really entertaining. Murata is certainly having a blast with drawing Black Sperm and all these goofy but menacing poses, like just seeing his incomprehensible strength and then looking at how he behaves, looking at how childish it is. It's frustrating. It fills you with a genuine sense of frustration and incapability. Like you're just so eager to see that smug smile wiped off his face. But that won't be for a while. The reign of Black Sperm continues. And as I said before, there's something so powerful about the way Murata weaves both aspects of the webcomics art and his own kind of photorealistic, hyper-cinematic style together. Like this panel has a great example of it. That Atomic Samurai, of course, is being drawn in extreme detail, and the positioning, the shadowing, the sense of perspective and scene with the main body of Black Sperm hoisting him up like that is essential Murata in its dynamicism, and its realism, and its depth. But then all these other Black Sperm cavorting around the scene really feel like something out of the webcomic. That they're so flat, that they're such a simple design, that their poses are so goofy and their expressions so strange. The blending of both, I think, really gives a good sense of horror. I went on and on about how One's art Has this very unique, horrific sense that it feels like a madman could have drawn it. And I think here you get both the madman and the genius represented. Stirring panel, terrifying panel, but stirring indeed. Okay, moving on. We have what does not even look like a body, as homeless emperor taunts the corpse of Zombie Man. What's the matter, S-Class? Aren't you going to revive again? Can you not do that anymore? Truly horrifying. Again, there's a blending here where there's like anatomical detail and stuff, like the ribs and the spine going down. And just the perspective of looking through the hole in the corpse. Of course, all the rubble and stuff. It's a very well realized scene. And yet, look at the line work around Zombie Man's body, the scribbles that represent his guts, and this dangling sinew. Ugh, I'm like disgusting myself just talking about it. But they look so sketchy, right? They have that kind of really frantic fluidity to it that I think is one of one's strengths as an artist. This kind of scribbliness that again just kind of seems mad. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Okay, another one. Is there another one? Ooh, Child Emperor versus Natural Evil Water. Drugs don't work either. I'm a genius prodigy. My items are almost all used up. Now's the time to come up with an idea that will turn things around. It's so sad. He's like thinking about it still in terms of him being the protagonist, in terms of this being a shonen manga. It's all so familiar. This is the part where I come up with something. This is the part for the next big twist and turnaround. Just like with Phoenix Man. Just like with all sorts of other fights we're sure that he's had in his illustrious career. But no, this is something entirely different. This is the mob of all mobs. Natural Evil Water. My sugar levels are running low. I love how Child Emperor is always talking about his blood sugar levels. He has to maintain that supply of glucose to the brain. My gosh. Another really horrific panel. What gets me the most is this blood in the water where Child Emperor is wounded. And you can see it's so well drawn. The black fluid ink of the blood going through the rest of the cloudy water. Natural Evil Water is like the way that Black Sperm carries his design from the webcomic is fantastic. But Natural Evil Water's total transformation from like the easiest character of all time for one to draw to Murata drawing upon years and years of understanding the subtleties of light and fluid and water and transparency, and it's mind-blowing how well drawn this is. Another one. Ooh. Prisoner. Totally ragged after his defeats earlier, but still searching out, still trying to help the rest of the team. Don't give up. Believe in the power of love. If I keep deluding myself, I should be able to recover to the point where I can walk again. Angel, deep breaths. I like that he refers to it as deluding himself. That he's totally embracing the fact that he should be dead. He should at least be totally incapacitated. And he knows, though, that the power of delusion will get him through. We see handsomely masked Sweet Mask, who of course is having a little arc in the webcomic, freaking out about the Ugmon that he's been challenged to fight in some sort of mirrored hallway, like those carnival rooms, and seeing the ugly Führer's face everywhere here he looks. Terrifying. Ooh, the other three A-class, the subordinates of Atomic Samurai, totally down for the count after being wiped out by Natural Evil Water. These top heroes are considered monsters in human society. On this day, the Hero Association came into contact with a group of real monsters for the very first time. I love the diversity of the character designs in One Punch Man. That when we see something like the round table of S-Class, your mind is already just spinning at the diversity there and what all of these different kind of tropes and character archetypes represent. Okay, like that's already fantastic. And now here, when we see this kind of similar array of their antagonists, of the strongest monsters remaining, The diversity is ratcheted up to absurd levels. Look at this. We've got a gigantic monstrous dog, a homeless man, a very ugly man, a pile of water, a pile of sperm, and teeth. That's all we got. It's like, what could this mean? How can you defeat this? It's just beyond the comprehension. It's beyond the intellect. I don't know. It's so appealing to me. I think also just because I have such faith, not just because I read the webcomic and I know these fights are going to be fantastic, but because Murata is going to just take it to the absolute next level too. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's the real Monster Association arc. I still can't get over it that it's finally happening. Do you remember the days where the remake was coming out at such a slow drip and the Monster Association arc had just finished in the webcomic and the remake was setting up all these new original arcs like the tournament and stuff and we were just like, I don't know, I'll admit it, I was kind of losing faith. I was like, are we ever actually going to see the Murata Monster Association arc? Is it ever going to be like what I read in the webcomic and loved so well? But yes, here we are. It's really, really happening. Being prepared to face death. For those who have attained power beyond humans, that is not supposed to be their destiny. Today, they are not prepared to die. Now, this is badass. And in any other shonen series, you feel like this is very strongly hinting at now is the redemption arc. Now we see all of these fights turn around, just like Child Emperor had predicted. But will we? Will we see that? In their minds, a long-forgotten feeling has begun to reemerge. Oh, this is such a good line. Fear. I can still remember when I first read this in the webcomic. And I think it's even more powerful here just because of the additional time we spent with all these characters, all the additional feats we've witnessed of their strength and the rank of S-Class, what that means is so much more clear to us. That when we understand that they are feeling fear, it's a spicy, spicy feeling. In reality, it wasn't the first time that humanity had made contact with a threat of this scale. But as long as he remained indifferent about narrating his combat service, nobody would have any way of knowing. So of course here they mean, when like the Earth people showed up, and when the aliens showed up, and when Vaccine Man showed up, and who knows what else. It's hard to even get a relative sense of the power rankings of all these other potentially catastrophic threats that Saitama just offhandedly and anonymously smushed before anyone had anywhere near an idea of how scary they actually were. Now, for the first time, the S-Class heroes themselves are getting a taste of what Saitama has been casually dealing with his entire heroic life. In the Hero Association, there's also somebody among the officers who expected very strong monsters who could make the S-Class heroes struggle. Still, the reason he was so confident in the power of the Strike Team was her. Okay, I love this. I love this. I think one of the most amazing feelings in shonen in general that One Punch Man is so good at is there's levels to this shit. The stratification. The feeling of just when you comprehend one layer of power, that's when you first kind of can conceive of the gap between that layer and the next layer. That after all this, after all these amazing feats, after being wowed again and again by the other S-Class heroes, you find that you're still looking up at Tatsumaki, at the tornado of terror. And just this sense that what's his face here? Shirk or whatever? That's not right. The kind of strategic advisor of the Hero Association, a very mysterious character. Could he be Blast? I don't know. Just the way that he analyzed the situation and knew that really the only thing you need is Tatsumaki. That sure, it's going to be better insurance, especially with the hostages and stuff, to have a whole S-Class deployment. But come on, really. We have a completely broken character on our side. How can Tatsumaki possibly lose? She is a being that nothing in the world could hope to defeat in a frontal attack. Rather than the class 1 S rank 1 S class rank 1 blast, who does not carelessly stand on the center stage, she is treated as the association's final weapon. And here we see a dragon, perhaps representative of S rank, or of the highest rank of monsters, dragon. Perhaps a more direct representation of another dragon in the series that we were just reading about in the webcomic, but I won't get too much into that. For those of you that don't follow the webcomic, yeah, a very interesting choice for this panel. Showing this dragon and then these rockets with H's around them. I think it's mostly symbolic, this panel, but again, a dragon. It's interesting. However, her opponent this time... Ah, this is what the real form is referring to. The real form of Gyoro Gyoro. Interesting, interesting. So yeah, Tatsumaki, largely off-screen, has been fighting against Gyoro Gyoro, the strategic leader of the Monster Association. And as expected of Tatsumaki, seems to be making pretty light work of her. Has ripped out this strange corpse out of the larger, bloated body, that octopus-like body that Gyoro Gyoro usually presents themselves in. Opposite approach to frontal attacks. From start to finish, from the instant they met, she had splendidly avoided Tatsumaki's attacks. Ooh, this is just a regular lump of meat. Tatsumaki fighting a decoy this entire time? Not a decoy stuffed inside of a decoy. While the real body is who knows where. Only pretended to be cornered in order to mock me. She tore apart the giant meat wall with great durabilities with her psychokinesis. She even ripped out the body similar to my own size that I buried for easier control. So, Gyoro Gyoro reflecting on all of this. As expected from someone whose power frightens her own sister. The other S-class can be dealt with using battle compatibility, all except Tatsumaki. She's giving me a headache. I'm at my wit's end. That said, if Homeless Emperor and Black Sperm join forces, they can kill anyone. So this is cool too. Just a little hint. There's such ambiguity of the relative power levels. And as I said before, that feeling of stratification, of glimpsing the true power of someone else is so enticing in this series. That little comments like that put an image in your mind of this tiering and of the gaps between them are super, super intriguing. And the specific shout out, not just the Black Sperm, you know, making quite light work of a hero ranked just below Tatsumaki, is evidence enough of his power. But Homeless Emperor, who has just been fighting Zombie Man, a much lower ranked hero, you know, it's quite intriguing. What is the true powers of these people? It's impossible to gather multiple dragon levels together under normal circumstances. The Monster Association is filled with all kinds of vicious members. It's like a miracle. It really is a miracle, the diversity and strength of their fighting force. Because, you know, putting aside the actual major Monster Association arc, which we're reading right now, before this, they still had Senior Centipede and, what's his face? The original champion guy. You know, big boy. They had all these dragon members, like, lurking in the wings. I think if everything had gone according to plan, if there was no Saitama, and those two were able to run rampant as they had planned on, there's no way the rest of the hero force would stand a chance. First, I'll wait for the cadres to eliminate their targeted heroes. Then I will instruct them with telepathy to corner and surround this woman. I observe the whole thing from even deeper underground. An amazing shot here. Again, the MC Escher influences, I think, in the design of the Monster Association lair. Just phenomenal. Just this endless stairway, this sense of both claustrophobia and endless openness simultaneously. Not even the monsters know where the real me is located. This is a good plan. I can prepare a new puppet. And here we see the first true shot of Psychos, the woman behind Gyoro Gyoro, the mastermind of the entire Monster Association, in a lab that we've never ever seen before, where new monsters are being developed through, I would say, much more traditional means. You know, nowadays we got all sorts of crazy stuff like, oh no, my suit won't come off. Now I am the suit. Or here, eat these gross looking things. Hey, guess what? You're a monster. Or even, I hate being ugly. Oops. These, you know, get a vat, get some tubes, get some valves and stuff. This is like a real old school way of making monsters. These guys sure look intimidating, though. I'm sure they're just one-punch fodder if they're going to show up again at all, but man, Murata, he'll put in work. Even if this is the only panel that we see these monsters, they have some pretty cool designs. Ooh, and then the reverse shot showing off Psychos in all her glory. I remember before the whole Monster Association arc started, there's occasionally an interview with one or an interview with Murata that will work through the worm work, and I'll hear about it. I can remember Murata promising that Psychos was going to be really, really sexy. There's not too many female women characters in One Punch Man. So Murata put it all on the line and said, I'm vowing I'm gonna do my best. She's gonna look hot. Did he succeed? Yeah, I see the appeal. She's got all this snake iconography, which I think really shows how much he influenced the development of Orochi. That he has kind of draconic things, but kind of like that serpentine dragon style, not traditional Western dragon style, but closer to the Eastern long winding dragon style. And especially the infinity sign, kind of like a pseudo Ouroboros, where Ouroboros is normally a circle. Hers is an infinity sign, hinting at an even greater potential. The way she's posted up here in the lounge, that the rest of the Monster Association has this maddening, almost Lovecraftian, M.C. Escher complexity and fractalness. And for her own personal private quarters, it's just a nice, tasteful, classy, well-decorated room. Yeah, this is good. I can see the appeal. All of humanity will fear this new unknown ruler. Everything will be in the palm of my hand. I will enjoy watching humanity slowly perish. She's messed up, though. Before that, Tatsumaki, you'll be the first to die. And here we see her activate her own telekinetic abilities that was controlling the meat puppet of Gyoro Gyoro before. Ooh. So this, I think, is the ESP of Psychos. This is her perception. This trail of psychic energy illuminating Tatsumaki, even though thousands of feet of ground and concrete separate them. Ooh, but Tatsumaki gets a whiff. You see her look down. She knows now where the actual source is. Ah, there you are. Found you. Oh, this is so great. This is so great. Okay, let's break down again what's happening in terms of power levels. We have the S-Class. We're so proud of the S-Class. Then we see all the S-Class get owned by the monsters that sit on top of them, the dragons. But then we realize, it doesn't matter so much. All those S-Classes, they were strong, but ultimately, the real hero of the plan was Tatsumaki. We put her even higher up. And we're so confident in the strength of Tatsumaki. Then, briefly, we think, is there even another layer? This mysterious woman, so aloof, so confident, so chilled out in her hideout, even though Tatsumaki ripped apart her meat double, her meat puppet. She seems totally okay with it. She's just ready for anything, it seems like. But no. As soon as that's there, it's instantly subverted. Tatsumaki back on top. I think these little subversions, these little mix-ups, this feeling of stratification and then subversion is something so key to the appeal of this series. And then, of course, above all, even above the above, Saitama. Okay, Tatsumaki found her. She found me? I can't be. Oh, so quick. Her pose is like basically the same, but everything about Psychos' attitude is just completely 180. Is that possible? I'm 1,500 meters underground. To set up several relay points just so my telepathic waves can cover this distance. How could she have discovered my location? Totally on her own. She just sniffed it. Psychic energy coming from there. Oh, so is it time for the big Tatsumaki inversion? This is one of the most monumental scenes in the webcomic. No, she's looking right at me. Oh my god, look at Tatsumaki's eyes. It's so good because, like, on this page, you see the same. I crossed my eyes for some reason. I can't really do it very well. This intense look. But what it hints at to me is the way that Tatsumaki is often drawn in the webcomic, with those like totally dead, totally flat eyes. When she's being like really bratty and insolent and she's not listening to anybody else and she's just standing there. It's like that kind of same depiction, but now like Psycho's like picturing those eyes upon her, that same kind of cartoonishness. It suddenly becomes so terrifying. The comedy and the terror linked together. This is the one Murata combo. She able to sense the distant location of the signal source of the tiny waves of telepathic waves coming out of my girl puppet. Stop hiding all the time. Come out and join the party. Oh, let's go. Oh, I'm so excited. Every time they depict Tatsumaki's powers, it's so hype. Oh, look at this. Look at the little chibi Tatsumaki. Just with this one panel. Again, it's like her I don't give a shit mode. It's her sense of just like, alright, let's get this over with. That total reduction of self to just like, alright, we're getting it done. And Psychos yoinked right from her couch. So precise. The couch doesn't come with her. Even the glass of wine doesn't come with her. Just the core of Psychos is being dragged upward. Being restrained. She's making a move. Cadres, anyone will do. Can someone distract Tatsumaki from me? So at this point, Psychos must be pretty freaked out, right? Like, she was confident until, 30 seconds ago. When she was like, alright, whatever. I've distracted Tatsumaki for a while. I'll just hang out here. Once the other fights are done, they'll all team up on Tatsumaki. Even without Orochi, I think it'll be okay. But this is the exact situation I think she needed Orochi, right? But Tatsumaki is launching this remote attack on her that no other hero is capable of. And no other monster, besides maybe Orochi, is capable of even distracting Tatsumaki for a second by themselves. She's confident in some of the monsters' team-up attacks, but like, what are they going to do here? Who can cover her? Whereas Rover, she's thinking. She's got so many aces up the sleeve, but Rover should be free to move, and it should be able to get here immediately. That's right, because Rover was never deployed against a specific S-class like the rest of the hero or monsters were. Rover was always just the guard dog. He was just going to chill at the entrance and fight whoever. Maximum telepathy output. Overgrown Rover. Hurry up and mobilize. Go get Tatsumaki. Okay, but what's Rover up to? Meanwhile, Rover, of course, is fighting Bang, Blast, and Fubuki, who seem to be having a tough time with it. It's gigantic fireballs. There's a nice GIF here. No comments. All right, I guess that's it. Let's plunge into chapter 124 after this. That was a very exciting one. Lots of good... Oh, man. Oh, it's the Monster Association arc. What can I even say? It's just all happening. All right, bye-bye for now.